Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Today we are on the Loverfella server to talk about max items and what enchants go on which items. I just want to let you guys know that timestamps will be down in the description if you are looking for a particular item, but I think it's good to watch this entire video so you know exactly what enchants should go on which items. But the main items we're going to focus on are armor and swords, since those are the two biggest things, especially with Purge right around the corner. I think it's very important that we get this done and that you guys get that too, so you can be the strongest possible. And before we start talking about the items, I just want to talk about what max means. When someone says they have a max sword, that sword should have every custom enchant you can get for it, and each enchant should be its max level. So if someone says they have a sword that's maxed, but it only has backstab 2, that is not max. It should have backstab level 5. Up first, we're going to talk about helmets. Your helmet can get a total of 6 custom enchants, excluding crate enchants. We'll go over that a little bit later. And the first one is Lightning Rod. So Lightning Rod has a max level of 5, and how it works is when you're lower than 2.5 hearts, it will summon 10 lightning bolts. This most likely won't work underground because, lightning comes from the sky, but it's still something good to have on your helmet. The next enchant is Clarity, which has another max level of 5, and it will remove blindness. I'm not quite sure where you're actually supposed to get blindness from, because I don't see another enchant that has that. So I wouldn't say this is necessary, but it might just be something good to have, because then you're going to be able to call your item max. Then following Clarity, we have Death Wish, which is another max level of 5. And honestly, there's not really too much of a use for this in Purge, because it inflicts weakness when a person kills you, but most likely you'll die and drop your inventory during Purge, so you'll have nothing to fight that person who now has weakness. But I guess during the actual season, if you guys are watching this after Purge, it's going to be very helpful, because then you could just do like /back or /warp to that PvP area again, and you'll be able to kill them a little bit easier, hopefully, now that they have weakness. So a lot of people don't have Fulbright, but if you do, then this next enchant is a little bit useless. But this enchant is Cat Eyes. You only need a level 1, that's the max level it gets, and basically it's going to give you Fulbright or night vision. That's kind of unnecessary if you just go into your game files and edit your gamma to be higher brightness. There's a bunch of videos on it, guys, just go search it up if you don't know how. So you can get this if you use shaders or something, but other than that, it might not be too necessary. Speedomatic 5 is definitely a very helpful custom enchant to have on your helmet, because if you drop below 20 hunger, it will feed you, and that's honestly really good. This can be used in so many different ways, and it's especially going to be helpful if you're running a lot of time or you're doing a giant grind. You just pop on one of these helmets and then you don't have to worry about eating or /feed or anything like that. And the final enchant that goes on your helmet is Life Force 3. This is an extremely expensive rune to get, but the benefit is that it will give you an extra 3 HP every 5 seconds. So if you're down, you're going to be healing about 1.5 hearts every 5 seconds, which can be very good when it's added to a max set of armor. Now we're going to move on to chestplates. There's a total of 5 different custom enchants you can get on your chestplate, excluding crate enchants, and the first one is Squishy. This has a max level of 5, and how it works is you will take 25% less damage, but in turn you will deal 37.5 less damage. This honestly isn't too fair of a trade-off, since you can just heal to take less damage, because if you heal, then you're gonna heal back up. Doesn't really make too much of a difference, and then that dealing less damage could be the reason you get destroyed in PvP, because now you're doing 2/3 of what you used to do. If you do 10 hearts of damage, now you're only doing 6.5 hearts of damage. See how drastic of a change that is? The next one is Angus. I don't really even know how to pronounce this, but it has a max level of 5. And how it works is that you will become invulnerable for 5 seconds. That means no one can damage you. This can be super helpful for situations where you're starting to get like really a lot of damage. You need to heal up with an apple. You see that you're not taking damage, you quickly switch out your inventory to eat a golden apple, or you can even switch out your armor when you're invulnerable. Blood Rage has a max level of 6, and how it works is when you're under 3 hearts, you will do extra damage and move a lot faster. This can be helpful for now comboing people and do that extra damage while you slowly heal up. Maybe you'll be able to get them low so you guys can both heal up. So Satan's Bargain has a max level of 3, and is a really overpowered enchant. But there is a little bit of a trade-off to it. Although you will get strength 3 and regeneration 1, when you have this on your chestplate, you lose 6 hearts of damage. Most times people are going to combo this with extra padding, which has a max level of 10, where you're going to be able to gain 5 hearts. So now you're down 1 heart, but you still get strength 3 and regen 1. This can be a big boost to your damage, and that's why I would suggest having it on your armor, but only if you get that extra padding along with it. When maxing out your leggings, there's 2 custom enchants that can go on there. The first one is Color Spray, which has a max level of 5, and how it works is that it will blind someone with a bunch of rainbow particles. It can be insanely overpowered in PvP against someone, but if it's used on you, you're going to realize it's super annoying since you're unable to see anything around you, so someone could really start to combo you, or in this case, if you use it on them, you're able to combo them. So really, it's just like you're gonna have to deal with this when you're PvPing, but it's definitely good to have it on your leggings so you can give the effect to them. The second custom enchant that goes on your leggings is Redirect. This has a max level of 5, and basically how it works is that you have a chance to redirect 50% of the damage dealt on you to a nearby entity. So how you'd want to do this is probably just be around mobs or something, so that the damage can go to one of them rather than all to you. And the final piece of armor is obviously the boots. So boots can have 5 different custom enchants on them. The first one is Airwalker, which has a max level of 6. How Airwalker works is basically you get a double jump every 3 seconds. So if you hold shift while in the air, you will be able to double jump. I personally don't like this because when you're using an elytra and you press shift to try to land on a ledge, it activates and then you get launched back up. But it can be very helpful when you're trying to escape. If you're in a hole with someone, you shift jump and you place a block below you, then start to stack back up. Be very good for that. And also if you have to jump up a mountain, you just shift, jump, all of that stuff, and you're all the way up to the top of the mountain in a matter of seconds. The next custom enchant has a max level of 3, and that enchant is Super Jump. You can think of it in its name. It's basically a super jump. You're able to jump an extra 3 blocks. Compared to your 1, you should be able to jump 4 blocks. So that can be very helpful if you don't want to do that shift with Airwalker. You now just have this and you're able to jump. It's not as high as Airwalker because Airwalker really does launch you, and there's also no cooldown, so every single one of your jumps is going to be this high. Very good for avoiding arrow shots and jumping over someone in PvP. Dasher has a max level of 6, and how it works is basically it's going to throw you forwards. So if you're running in a straight line, throw you forwards a couple blocks every 20 seconds. It's very helpful for if you're trying to run away from someone, you'll get that little bit of an extra boost, but some people call it annoying in PvP since you can get launched through someone and sort of lose track of them in all of your running around. But it can also help if you're trapped in a corner, you try to run forwards and then you get launched past the person, you're able to run again. So there's its benefits and downfalls. I suggest putting this on your armor for purge, but that's up to you. So there's some controversy when it comes to this next one, and this next one is Endergate. It has a max level of 5, and basically how it works is when you're under 5 hearts, it's going to teleport you around like an Enderman. Why some people don't like it is a PvP battle is going to be very close. You're going to get them down to 5 hearts, and you could be very close behind on those 5 hearts. So if you teleport away when you hit 5 hearts and they're down to 5 hearts, they're going to be able to heal back up, and you're going to have to go through all of that work again. But it's really helpful if you're the one who's low compared to the other person, since now you're going to be losing that fight, but you teleport away and now you can run. So just something to sort of think about what way you think you're going to be able to PvP. Hermes Wings is pretty simple, and how it works is for each level, you will get 1 level of speed. So since it has a max level of 3, you're going to be getting speed 3 when you have these on your boots. That can be super helpful for movement and moving around, since now you don't have to worry about holding speed potions. So bows have never been too helpful in PvP because of how low amount of damage they do. But there are 4 custom enchants you can apply to it, which do buff its damage kind of significantly. The first one is Multi-Shot, which has a max level of 5, and how it works is that it's going to have a chance. For every arrow you shoot, there is a small chance that it will shoot 5 arrows instead of 1. So that can be good for PvP because now you're doing 5 times the damage, but it's very small chance and it's really hard to actually land a hit with a bow with all these speed enchants and jumping and all that stuff. The next one is Hail of Arrow, which has a max level of 5. How it works is basically if you hit someone with this, there is a chance for 15 arrows to rain down from above the target. Fun fact, at the start of the season, there was actually a duping glitch where you could shoot this and then collect the arrows back up. It was kind of funny. I don't think anyone got banned for it, but it was a quick way to make some cash. But the second to last custom enchant you can get is called Solid Ice. It has a max level of 5, and how it works is basically when you shoot someone while shifting, if it hits them, it's gonna freeze that player or entity, whatever you use it on. But the only catch when you use this enchant is that you can't actually damage the player, but the player can't damage you, and that player can't do anything. So if you're really low and you manage to land a shot with your bow that has this enchant, you're gonna be able to run away or maybe set up some end crystals, lava to damage them that slightest bit more. But the final enchant for bows is Spitball. It has a max level of 5, and basically how it works is if you hit your enemy, it's gonna slow them down and also give you an extra bit of damage on them, since it's almost like poison when it's gonna like tick away some damage. So that's like every single enchant on the bow. It's not too helpful to use a bow during purge, but if you want to, you can have it. If you have these extra enchants and you have a bow that doesn't have a skin, might as well, because there is nothing else you can really do with them. And I'm guessing this is the one you guys have been waiting for. It is time for every single custom enchant that can go on your sword to make it max. There are 11 total. The first one is Decap, which has a max level of 10. And honestly, it's not too special. All it does is give you the player's head if you kill them. So if you're a licker, you can just do /skull and then the player's name and get their head. But if you're not licker, I guess this is helpful, but it's not really something you need for like purge or if you're planning on just PvPing. It's only for a player's head. The next one is Yeet, and it has a max level of 5. Basically, just think about it as this. It's an extra like extreme knockback. It can be really bad and really good during PvP because now you're able to hit them away. If you're more of a bow PvPer, you just hit them away and you try to shoot them with a bow. But if you're more of a sword jitter click sword PvPer, you're going to be knocking them across the field and up mountains and out windows all the time because of how strong this is. The third enchant is Backstab, which has a max level of 5, and this is honestly one of my favorite enchants. People hate it, but I love it. What it does is it teleports you behind the player, and if you're in a corner, you're teleported behind them and now able to hit them into the corner. Or if you just want to mess with them, now you're teleported behind them and you can hit them like multiple times, and comboed with a later enchant that we're going to talk about in a second, it can be insane. Another enchant that goes on your sword is Hungry. It has a max level of 5, and basically what it does is it's going to take away part of your opponent's hunger. So this is kind of obsolete if they have Feedomatic, but it's still something good to have on your sword just because it's gonna make Feedomatic activate more, and then there might be a small chance that you're actually able to get their hunger down low enough that they don't heal. So that's definitely something you're gonna want to get on your sword. But Nightblade, which has a max level of 5, requires a specific time of day. Basically, as it says in its name, it has to be nighttime for this enchant to work. But how it works is that it's going to be giving your opponent the withering effect. Although that kind of already happens when you give them the bleeding effect if you have a high enough sword level, this is now another chance for that to happen. Trickster, which has a max level of 5, I personally hate it, but I'll admit that it is like an insanely overpowered enchant. Basically what it does is it's gonna mix up your player's inventory, and there's also a chance that it takes off their armor. Can you think about why I might hate that and why other people might hate that and why it's actually like really good? Because of the fact that if you take off their armor and they don't realize, you're going to do a bunch of extra damage. And also if they're not good at switching slots in their inventory, now they have to look down at their inventory and like scroll with their scroll wheel, which makes them pay attention to you less so you can get more hits on them. Many people don't know, but this next enchant called Alacrity has a max level of 3, and what people don't realize is that it works on your sword so you can attack faster. This is a really helpful enchant for any form of PvP, obviously, but what it's really good for is if you add the next enchant, which is Lead-In, which has a max level of 5. If you have these two combo together, you can do a lot more damage, because what Lead-In does is that it's going to give you 50% more damage, but the trade-off is that you have a slower attack. But now that you have Alacrity on there, it's actually going to be probably equal to how you're PvPing now. Our third to last custom enchant that you can put on your sword is Combo Counter. This enchant you should have on any sword, no matter what. It does have a max level of 5, and each level is good, but obviously level 5, the highest level, is the best. How it works is that if you can get constant hits on a player, you will be able to get a combo. So every single hit you do without taking any damage, you will do 20 more damage to them. As long as you can keep that like combo, you could do upwards to 120% more damage from just 6 hits. Omni Science has a max level of 5, and basically what it does is it's going to take the experience, so that thing on the side of your screen that says EXP, it's going to take that from the player that you're attacking and give it to you. So this can be really good, almost money making method. If you go into PvP and you start hitting people with this, you're going to get to take their EXP, and then you get lucky gems, and then you can sell those lucky gems. But honestly, it's not going to be too helpful during purge, since there's not really a point to having EXP during purge, because by then hopefully you already have all of your custom enchants that you're going to need for your items. The final enchant you can get on your sword is called Pandora's Box. It has a max level of 5, and this is probably one of the most special custom enchants you can get on your sword, because how it works is that you can deal an extra 125% damage on your opponent, but there's also the chance that this doesn't happen to your opponent and it happens to you. So what I don't like is that there's this risk factor, because this could do an extra 4 hearts to you, or it could do 4 hearts to your opponent. So there's a trade-off that you're gonna have to pick. If you want to take that risk, you're feeling lucky, you can go ahead and apply this to your sword. Our final item we're going to talk about in this video is the Pickaxe. So a pickaxe can get 4 custom enchants. The first one is Treasure Hunter. It has a max level of 10, and how it works is basically it's going to give you more roots. If you mine an ore while you're using a pickaxe that has this enchant, you have a chance to get unidentified runes, which you can then identify for experience. The next custom enchant is Telekinesis, and it has a max level of 5. With a level 5, you have a 100% chance to pick up a block that you break. So this is pretty helpful for mining, but it only is really helpful if you have /sell, since your inventory would fill up really quickly with some of those good picks. The third one, which we have covered before on swords, is Alcrity 3. So this, instead of it making you attack faster, makes you mine faster. So this can be insane. Basically, it's the equivalent to Haste 3. So you're going to want to get this on every single one of your pickaxes so you can mine as fast as possible. And the final of the 4 enchants is Auto Smelt. It has a max level of 5, and it does exactly that. It's going to automatically smelt any ore and stone that you mine with that pickaxe. In some ways, I find it annoying because it's sometimes you get smooth stone and it just fills up your inventory faster than if you were to mine normally, but I guess the stuff does sell for more as it's smelted form, so that's the one benefit. And now we're going to go to right behind me, where I said we were going to be talking about custom enchants that are crate enchants. So this is the rune shop. How it works is you click in, and there's runes that are level 1. You can get a common rune, you can get rare, uncommon, but the thing you are looking for is the runes that come from crates. How you check that is from /warp infuser, right click that ender chest, and then you can go under here. All of these are crate enchants. They have been in a crate. The only way you can get those is from the rune shop, and they are really good enchants. All of these ones on screen are ones that have been in there this season, and if you read some of the descriptions, you might have to zoom in a little bit. They can add extra hearts, summon in little vexes to help you fight, make you invulnerable, knock people back, freeze people. All of those enchants are really good, and that's why they aren't included when you say you have a max sword, because it's very hard to get them. But if you have that on your sword will normally be a lot better. And for purge, I would highly suggest getting as many of these custom crate enchants that you can, because they will help out a lot with PvP, especially Icy Layer. And I almost forgot to say, to remove some of the custom enchants, if you don't like one of the custom enchants that you have on your item, you can always go to /warp infuser and then walk up here, click the enchant table, or it's going to be a different one, maybe in a future season, and you're going to want to buy one of these clean wands. They cost 5,000 EXP, but they allow you to take any enchant off an item, and only that one enchant. so you don't have to put it into a grindstone and lose all of those other ones. And if you wanted to, you could go as far as to take off some vanilla enchants like knockback, so you don't knock back an enemy and can hit them faster, or you can remove those runes that you didn't want from before. Just as a special bonus to this video, guys, I'm going to show you me maxing out my armor. So I have all the custom enchants and enchants that I'm going to want. I'm going to be using Prot 10 Halloween crate armor for this season's purge, and as you can see, I have all the runes. But let's quickly enchant up this armor. I've been waiting so long for it, and it's like, there we go. The leggings are maxed. Icy layer 1, redirect, and color spray. But now time for the rest. This is Purge week for me, so if you guys want to learn more about Purge, or if you're seeing this in the future, might as well still check it out to prepare for Purge in the future. But yeah, without further ado, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope this was helpful. Good luck with maxing out your armor. Some things might change in the future, but getting those crate enchants will not change, so always get those. And like always, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Consider leaving a like, subscribing, and have a great day. Bye, guys.